Welcome everyone to the 18th episode of Cocoon. And on this episode, we're really lucky to have Forreste Love from Your Life Creation joining us. So thank you so much for being our 18th guest, Forreste.
Thank you so much for having me, Karen. I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, with our guests, what we like to do is start at the beginning. So I'd love to hear about how your journey began with you working in the wellness space. What actually led you to begin your career? And then tell me what's been going on from then until now.
Amazing. Thank you. So I think there wasn't really like a significant time that kind of stood out where everything started. But I did start going to a lot of different events and activities that kind of opened the path up that I'm on now, which is meditation, yoga, especially like yoga nidra at the start of my journey, which is a practice to bring awareness to all parts of your body through a meditation. Um, I was traveling as well in Japan, Nepal, Egypt, and I found visiting like these spiritual places really opened up like this excitement for traveling internally. So, like understanding myself and asking those big questions about the world as well. But I think doing that opened up a lot of possibilities. It kind of expanded my idea of what I could do in this world, and go traveling around and seeing everyone doing all these amazing things. It made me go like, wow, I can really give myself permission in this world to do what I want. And then that sparked, to just really choosing to create in each moment. And now I teach that to other people. So I have my own modality. It's called Your Life Creation, and it's all about breaking those limitations that we have and being able to see the possibilities that there are. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so when did you begin your business, your life creation? And tell me, I mean, without breaking anonymity and confidentiality, tell me about some of your clients.
So I started probably like 7 or 8 years ago. I started Reiki energy healing, and so I went on to do like my master's and master teacher, and then I started studying art psychotherapy, and then a modality called body consciousness. So I kind of combined all of these together, and about 5 years ago, I had this like an epiphany or a light bulb moment where I was like, wow, there's a correlation between this conceptual model in art psychotherapy and a spiritual model, which was the chakras and a few other things. But for those to go together, I thought, wow, like these can create this baby, I guess. So now my modality, it's all about manifestation and creating insight. And the clients that I have are usually clients who want to expand their consciousness, create their heart's desires, or a lot of people who are also, having mental health conditions and symptoms as well, and they want to understand those. So that came from the psychotherapy aspect of it. But yeah, altogether, it's just helping people see those possibilities and create their life and make the choices to do that.
Fantastic. And so, from what I know about you, you're quite a busy person. So, how do you maintain your energy levels? Because often when we're giving to others so much, we forget about ourselves. So, how do you maintain the energy it takes to give in that way?
Yeah, I think this is a huge one because like I often have people say to me like, "Oh, how do you do all of those things?" Or um, I grew up in a country town as well, so people see me traveling and things like that and they're like, "Oh, how could I ever do that?" And for me it's all about like routine and prioritizing things that I love and being able to schedule the things that I love in. Like, I don't think we should just schedule in work or schedule in a meeting, but actually being able to schedule in time for rest or relaxation is really important and can actually um, help you fit all the things that you want to into your life. So for me, it's like every Monday night I have a self-care night, which is like, self-massage or meditation or a bath. And then Sunday is all about giving to myself. So as a wellness practitioner, like there's a lot of giving and a lot of, like emotional and mental things that you have to go through. But I think showing up for myself, like on Sunday, allows me to be able to show up for others with a full cup. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so true. Like putting the oxygen mask on yourself before you give it to others. And I really like that idea of scheduling in the things that make you feel good, because often it just, if you don't, like, it's, what is it, um your schedule takes over you and you don't actually look after your schedule. So what is it, no, if you don't run the day runs you. So
Yeah.
so that's a great point. And I'm not sure about you, but with me, sometimes I have certain periods of the year where I do like really intense work, and then to sort of recover from that, I have some things that I like to do to sort of get me back on my feet. So if it's really intense work, I need that recovery. So what do you do that, and what would be in your sort of recovery schedule after a very busy period?
Well, I think, excuse me, like I'm actually pregnant at the moment, 20 weeks,
Oh,
which is very
congratulations.
exciting. But obviously, so recently I taught my modality, which was, a 5-year project, massive, and it takes a lot of energy and effort, and there's no kind of escaping it. I think as much as I schedule, there's always, additional things that have to be done leading up to it. And so there's always like, going a little bit beyond my capacity. So with my workshop that I did recently, I spent, spring and summer, the energetic months, really putting focus on those areas. And then scheduled it so that my workshop would be at the end of summer. And then autumn and winter, I can kind of go into this time, obviously, with my pregnancy as well, now that I'm going to be birthing my child.
Yeah.
But the autumn and winter, I've gone, okay, instead of a creative project in business, how about I just do like my one-on-one sessions with people? And then outside of that, I do a creative project just for myself. And so that translated to, oh, well, I've been wanting to learn Japanese calligraphy just for fun.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I'll just do that instead of, do something that's for others. So it's kind of coming back to bringing it to what can I do for myself afterwards. And for me, it's always like the creative things, the playful things, things that don't really have a point. Like it's not going
Yeah.
anywhere. I'm gonna be like an expert calligraphy person, but I just want to do it because it's fun. And
Yeah.
so things like that, just enjoying it because I can and do.
I
Yeah.
love that approach. I think sometimes I forget that you can do something just because you want to and you find it enjoyable. It doesn't have to have a point. Like the point
Yeah.
is that you find it enjoyable, So
Mm.
it's a really great approach. Now, they say that hindsight is 2020. So now that you're well established in your career, what do you wish you knew about maintaining your own wellness that you wish you knew at the very beginning?
Yeah, I think I touched on this in the promo a little bit, but I think just asking for help is such a big part of um, expanding in the career. I think at the beginning, I cut off a lot of opportunities, or I gave up areas. So I would kind of jump from um, area to area, not kind of knowing what I really wanted to put my energy into. And I think if I just had like a business consultant or a friend that I could, talk it out with and say, like, oh, what am I doing? I just want to be able to know, like, what my path is, or what I could follow and be confident about it, because I think I felt lost for like a very long time. But just having that that support or that help, even just emotionally or creatively, would have really helped me kind of hit the ground running, I think, at the start.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think, yeah, I think you're right. I think when you first are finding your feet, you feel like you have to do it on your own, otherwise you're not being professional. But I mean, having a mentor and asking advice from people who are more established than you, it's such a godsend. Like, it's so valuable. Um, and even getting feedback from people that who haven't had as much experience as you, like on, even people who, may be prospective clients, or in the future, like that can actually help guide you as well. So yeah, so true. You're not supposed to know everything. So, and you'll never know everything. So yeah, I love that. I think that's excellent. Now we know the way of the world. Social media is almost something you have to do to just reach people with your business and promote it, maintain relationships with your clients in between your visits, and try and attract new clients as well. And there are some really amazing positive things that social media can do, but there also are some negatives. Now, how do you maintain those? So how do you navigate your use of social media to promote your business without it becoming where you get sort of sucked into checking all the time and taking over your life, because it can. How do you navigate that to stay on the good side of social media?
Mm. Yeah, I think this one, it's kind of like self-management for me. It's the same as what I was talking about before with scheduling. I think I used to, like, be doing my work and then look at my phone and then do my work, and even emails, like responding to emails as I was working. And I think like that excessive multitasking was making it a chore to reply on social media and to keep up the social media, rather than it be something fun that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, so now I have like every Thursday morning is about social media. And outside of that time, I don't have to do anything with social media if I don't want to. But that time, especially, like I'll always commit to sitting down with it. And then during my week as well, I'll have, I won't reply to messages unless I'm like on my break or around my break. So like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then, so that really opens up that time in between for me to um, organize things. And I've just kind of scheduled it so that on Monday morning, I do all the, admin things, like, the energy bill call, or things like that. So I've got time for that as well. It's not taking up my week. Because it's important to schedule and these things need to be done. So yeah, everything can kind of fit.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, because I mean, you do. I mean, the platforms are set up for you to spend as much time on them as possible, so it's so easy to get caught in to that practice of constantly checking. So I like that idea of scheduling. Now, moving on to chatting again about your clients, but without again breaking any confidentiality. But can you tell me about an inspirational breakthrough of one of your clients, or a breakthrough or transformation that one of your clients has had?
I think, yeah, I find it hard to answer this question because I don't want to put anyone's story out there. But I think that for me, it's all about the someone's growth in their self-awareness and in their self-empowerment, because I see like the material and physical changes that people will go through. It's like they're going to happen anyway. But when I see clients who are like actively making empowered choices in their own life, um, I think that's what's really rewarding. And recently I ran a workshop um, for my modality, and the feedback that I got from that was people had they'd learnt the modality, and then they were practicing it on other people in their own lives. And
Wow.
yeah, and having these amazing breakthroughs. And for me, that was just like, it felt like such a like pivotal moment of my career to have something that I've created go out and be the ripple effect of helping others as well. And then for those clients to independently create their own change. Yeah, very exciting.
That's fantastic. Now, from talking to people in this podcast, there are two, well, there might be more camps, but there's generally two camps of people in relation to goal setting. Some people are like, yes, I set my goals at the beginning of every year, but then there's others are like, no, I want to see what the universe brings me. I go with that. So I take each thing that comes and then we move on to the next as it's presented. So what kind of camp are you in, Forreste? And if you are a goal setter, what are your goals for this year?
I think my goals like for this year is always clients. Like I have that long-term goal of building up my client base and just continuing my one-on-one sessions because that's my passion. But this year, after doing my workshop recently, that was like a 5-year project, which I will continue in the future. But I think that after that, I kind of had this sense of like, oh, like where am I going now? Because this was such a big creation for me. So I've decided recently that I'm going to get some business consulting specifically to like expand my business from here and see where it wants to go in terms of like whether it wants to be a company or whether this transforms into a book or I'm not completely sure yet, but I love that like I was talking about before, asking for help. I've got that understanding now, so I'm not going to get lost and give up. I've got the awareness that I can expand with support from here. So
Yeah. Excellent. So, well, I look forward to keeping in touch and seeing where it all goes over the next year for you. And my final question for our chat today is around sort of helping people new to the industry, because I think, and I've experienced this as well, you become qualified and you're so inspired and you want to go and help everybody. But often, and when you're building your business as well, often you just want to take on as many clients as you can just to get things going, often to the detriment of your own health and well-being. So what advice would you give to others just starting in the wellness industry to avoid burning out?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that come to mind. The first one is like with scheduling, I think you can have it all. So you can you can have that work-life balance, which I think is really important. The second one is probably discernment. Sorry. Because I think like at the beginning of my career as well, I think that I kind of went to lots of different events and lots of different things. But if I kind of had the discernment and intuition maybe to go, oh, that's not really my thing, or I think that would have helped me to conserve a lot of energy and put it into, my business or places where it would expand. I think I've really nailed that now with, being able to go, just no, that's not for me. And being okay with that slight discomfort of FOMO or, of not being able to do that thing, because I know that like my highest potential is through this path that I'm choosing. The third one, I think, like I was saying before, anything that you do that's like beyond the mundane, I think it's going to ask you to grow beyond your capacity. So I think getting that support to be able to go beyond that capacity is like it'll really help you along the way and avoid that burnout as well. to be supported by people. It's going to have a lighter load. It's going to expand your capacity. Yeah. I'm really selling that today.
Yeah, it's great. It's great advice. And I think we forget. I think sometimes we don't ask for advice because we're worried about what other people will think of us, that we'll look like we're incompetent, when actually, like, it's the complete opposite. It's almost like my students who like the ones who don't, the smartest students that I have and the best performing ones are the ones who ask questions, because they're constantly learning and seeking that knowledge and support. And it's the ones who just go off and try and do everything themselves that, often it's too hard to do that. So I really love that answer. And I also love, being discerning. It's so important. You can't say yes to everything. You got to work out what is right. And because sometimes I think it comes down to people pleasing a bit as well. If you're trying to please everyone, you often don't end up pleasing yourself. And you end up, and this is, I've learned from my experience, often you end up saying yes to something, and when you're doing it, you feel a bit resentful because you're like, why did I say yes to this? You're not being true to yourself. So it's really important. And learning that, one of my things that I say now is the answer's not no, it's not now. So often I'll say yes to things as long as I can have some time. Or I can say yes, but what about this way? So then if you're actually working out a way that you can do it, but it's going to actually be more helpful to you that way. It's not as much work. You're still contributing, but you're not giving in a way that's going to actually negatively impact you. So there's so many ways around it, and you're right, you just have to learn through experience. But I'm so glad that you've shared yours with us today, Forreste, and shared your knowledge. I think it's going to help a lot of people. And so before we wrap up, do you have any final words that you'd like to share with those watching or listening?
Well, I had a question for you, Karen, because it sounds like, what you just shared, it kind of summarized what I shared as creating solutions. Like help is creating solutions. The discernment is creating solutions. The scheduling is creating solutions so that everything fits. What's your advice with creating solutions? Like how do you think people can create solutions with ease?
I think it's really having a very clear idea on what it is that you want to achieve for yourself and your business. And then that way that sort of paves the way of helping you to be discerning, because if you know that, then you could say what's right and what's wrong. And I think it's not being scared to say no. But I find because I am a people pleaser by heart, and I'm much better than I used to be. But it's having the confidence to say no. You can say no and still say it in like a compassionate way, and without upsetting people, but just it's still doing what you want. So often I'll say no in a way, but provide an option for something else.
Yeah.
With either me or maybe someone else I know who actually would be really happy with that opportunity, and connecting people is often a good solution as well. Only if you know that person would want to be connected with. So, and I think too, it's taking that time, so not feeling like you have to answer straight away either. So actually taking the time to go, can I think about that? And then go away and go, do I really want to do this? Is there another way? And just having that time to yourself to really sort of mull it over, I think is just vital. It really is. And anyone who's trying to push you for a decision, it's an automatic no.
Love that. So true.
Yeah. Because I think that's a red flag when someone's pushing you to make a decision on the spot, because it's like, why are you in such a hurry? So unless it's like someone's life depends on it, that's different. But if it's something else, then it's like, nah, it's okay.
It's like allowing time for the solutions to present themselves as well.
I totally agree with that, because sometimes, I know sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to do, but if I just go off and do something else, often, the solution just comes to you. So that's a great
So
point.
the space, the time and solitude.
Absolutely. Winners. So thank you so much. So thanks everyone today for watching, and thank you so much, Forreste, for being our amazing guest on episode 18 of Cocoon.
Thank you so much, Karen. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.